Okay.
It would appear I can no longer rely on Shikishima. Miss Morimura's death has left the now they won't let me spearhead the Sentinel project. I doubt my opinion will weigh much in their Miss Morimura, why did you have to die? Ayame Park, please.
That was pretty quick, Goto-kun.
I checked the corpse at the police station. It was yours, Miss Morimura.
Is that so?
You don't seem too shocked about...
Well, it didn't exactly stop me. Here I am, safe and sound.
I suppose that's true. Ever since the battle that ended with the Sentinels infected, Miss Morimura... This referred...
So, what did the police say?
The cause of death was a gunshot. No bullet was found in the body. Though it's easy to imagine why. The murder weapon was likely from beyond this... Estimated time of death is approximately 1900 hours. You were witnessed running off somewhere with
I guess the reason Matthew's my favorite character in Danganronpa is the fact that I'm a
They found a
specialist.
witness. This era's police really did their due diligence.
Well, I don't
An acquaintance
exactly try to
described
stay
as a
hidden.
most likely...
I just do what can be done to get the job done quickly.
There should have been that drone, so...
The timing couldn't... It looks like it would... So she wasn't even under...
I see.
Any thoughts as to our...
The witness statement matches...
It did seem like something was...
But
I
who
wouldn't be
knows
surprised
if
if he was our murderer.
I was in Danganronpa,
Though it
I'd rather
raises
die
that
now.
surely a murderer
I'd
is
rather die
optimal
my
in
heart disease.
Well, maybe it wasn't
Well, he certainly is... I can say he's not enough of an idiot to shoot someone on impulse.
Only reason I've got him under control is because I'm taking tablets.
Who else? That man with that...
Logically speaking, he would naturally be another... He did attempt to eradicate... He's a dangerous individual. All that's left of 426, I don't think I could reliably predict his behavior. 426 certainly isn't above killing. If Ida-san were here, I'm sure he'd declare 426 our prime...
We know he killed at least. That's why I shot him dead in the end. If he resurrected himself, that would give him a chance at revenge. As a motive,
Aside from Miss Morimura, 4 others came here for refuge. By the time I'd started assisting Miss Morimura's efforts, they'd already lost their physical body. Fortunately, we were able to use the data stored in Sector. This allowed us to meld their replicated consciousness with AI. As for how they lost their bodies in the first place, reportedly 426 is doing. In one fell swoop, according to Ida-san's account, anyway. But if number 16 is to be believed, that's not what really happened, and Miss Morimura should be aware of that. He did attempt to eradicate... Miss Morimura.
what is it?
Regarding would you say you had any...
Feelings? Well, he was certainly a good friend.
Jiro Izumi.
Where's this coming from?
That doesn't make sense. According to number 18... I had a hunch about Miss... and my discussion with Tama...
What are you doing here, Grandma? You really know how to give people a headache, you know that?
Goto, I'm sorry for this. I need to talk to you.
Did something happen?
It's about Morimura-san. She's been transplanting 426's memory. I only just found out.
426?
No, not... She's using the memory data of the man himself.
In other words, she's trying to use Juro to create another 426?
I did my best to talk. She's letting me handle Juro-kun's treatment now. Still, I don't think she's given up on this.
Why is she trying to bring back 426?
Well, I've been giving her some advice about it, and I understand where she's coming from, but... Mori Mura-san is in love with him.
With 426?
Maybe she always has been. That's why she wants him back as a human.
But she has to know the risks.
True, but... Besides, she's the one who killed him. Watch over and try to keep her away.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you. I can barely take it.
So Miss Morimura did.
Shut up!
I spoke with the... Back then, she gave Miss the truth. When Juro you aim to use him to revive 426. One reason seems most likely. You harbored romantic feelings.
Me? That Chihiro Morimura was mind-hacked, remember? You said so yourself. My goodness, romantic... My...
I spoke with the back...
Pretty cool.
Wait, what, could you go over that again?
Our defensive maneuver... So we decided to stick to the plan. We all headed to the gate to escape. But... there was an explosion.
Oh, not Android.
From what I can... The Type 98 we were shifting in and got attacked. But that's the last... After that... Nothing.
In fact,
But
that's probably
is
what
that
my
how you're
section ultimate
It wasn't some plot, just
Danganronpa.
an explosion.
Ultimate
We never
Specialist.
did manage to completely I thought it was just that you didn't get converted. You were all dead before the shifty Ida-kun. You said he killed... I know you did. You said he's...
Given the chance, he certainly would have.
You lied to me?
He already tried to kill us all in the past. You know he'd have tried again if we left him alive. Killing him.
No. That means...
I'd like to revisit something about 426 kill...
Remember what?
You've read my files, I presume? I gathered quite a lot of material in the past. Most of it is rather outdated, including Ida-san's statement concerning those victims. In other words, your answer is objectively incorrect.
Really? Well, can you blame me? Look at this body I'm stuck with.
If you recall, that idea was based on a certain piece of evidence I found. One particular...
What log?
If you really are Miss Morimura, 2 years before you were born, Ida-san extracted that in turn led to the discovery of the data log in question.
Okay.
As for the log itself, it contains footage from the year 2188. It was found buried in the mainframe data during the analysis of 426. You seem very disturbed by me seeing that file. So much so, that you ended up deleting all of your logs. Would you mind telling me why you did that?
I don't know.
Well, at the very least, or even that he had been manipulating. The log contained a very interesting... Apparently, Juro Izumi downloaded memories onto Chihiro Morimura's clone.
426. So what does that mean? You're Morimura and...
Invisible. Transmission log to when you go.
This is Tetsuya Ida. Don't know why I'm recording this. Nobody's going to hear it. Still, might as well. Not like I have anywhere else to share this. I was in the middle of a Chihiro Morimura's host. The setting change looks like it'll trigger I don't know anything about the memory's contents, but it says the modifying user was Juro Izumi. Because someone thought it'd be a great idea, and at this point, well, what the hell can we do about it? At least now I have proof. You're all hypocrites anyway. Yes, including you, jackass.
Congratulations, Ida. You have just demonstrated how you managed to get through life with no friends.
The log inconveniently revealed one of your secrets, so you deleted it. Remember where this all began? It was the compatibility experiment, the one that produced you. Based off Miss Morimura's footage and your own admissions, I've completely misjudged the situation. All this time, I believed you were her. But even from the very beginning, you've been your own person.
So, what are you saying? I'm not Chihiro Morimura? If I'm not a duplicate, then who exactly?
You are Chihiro Morimura.
Well, there you have it.
No, not Professor Chihiro Morimura. The one from the year 2188, and the central figure of Shikishin.
Ms. Morimura has been in love with Juro Izumi since she was young. Wait, what about this transmission log to Goto? The transmission from Tetsuya Ida to Renya Goto. He reports that someone had modified the settings for the final phase, causing Chihiro Morimura's memories to be overwritten. According to the changelog, the one who did this was none other than Juro Izumi. Number 16 statement. Tomi Kisaragi, recently revived as an android, tells Chihiro Morimura about the deadly explosion at the gate. Realizing that Tetsuya Ida had lied about Juro Izumi's murders, Morimura is crushed by regret. Yes, I know it's Juro, I'm just speaking a bit fast. Tomorrow's statement. Renya Goto, who had been called out to the schoolyard, is asked for help by Tamao Karabe. Fearing that Chihiro Morimura has not given up on implanting 426's memories into Juro Karabe, she asks him to keep an eye on Morimura.
Activation. The terminal is complete.
We did it.
They've changed targets.
They're already on the move.
Can't even let us catch our breath, huh?
I haven't hit my operating limit yet, but I'm going to dismount.
Whoa, hey!
Hold it together. We don't need orders
after Aegis activation.
Chihiro-san.
Look at that sunset. Just like it was. It's beautiful. I'm guessing you were monitoring.
I have one locked on to you, yes. Their target's changed. It's dangerous here.
Aw, don't tell me you're worried about me. How about you mind your own business?
Oh.
You already know how I feel. This is what I wanted.
Still.
More important, can you really afford to waste your time here? Or have you already... The invasion is still in it?
I've got time. First, I need to get you some...
There are no safe places left. At least, none left for us. We're not safe anywhere. You're just losing precious time. Go focus on the job you're supposed to.
Understood. You'll find it safer if, hypothetically...
Wait. As long as we're both... There's something I want to So, you were in love with Miss... You said she was... But it was more about you being...
That's our...
That's yes, man.
You are correct. Is that what you wanted to hear? That I was driven by some... That I can't think of...
And that's why you brought back my memory, isn't it? You never cared how you just wanted her back.
So much.
I'm glad. You really were a That's the Renya Goto.
So no different than
means
Ida.
I don't have to like you after. Thank you.
Professor.
You should go. After all, although it looks like... What's wrong? Could you leave me alone? It's dangerous. Just come with me, okay? Will you just... What are you... Don't worry. If you can't find your mommy, I can help you look. We just have to... Oh, there you are. Asami-chan, I'm so glad you're okay. Jeez, you shouldn't have come this way.
Kisaragi, that girl...
I know already. I'll get back to the battle when... Of course not. Never mind. Can I bring her too? Never mind. The evacuation route's that way. Hey! That's fine, just hurry up.
Oh wait, no. A chance to check whereabouts that is in.
Strange. I know this is but this suddenly makes me feel so... nostalgic.
Sunsets will do that, I find. Regardless of...
Yes, but... this must be... well, I suppose it must be one of those places. So? Where am I going?
I've rented an apartment under a false name.
Can't be any worse than our last accommodations. As long as it's not Rebel, I'll take it.
My apologies. If it's any comfort, I'm certain nobody will find you, not Shikishima. And certainly not Miss Mori. I suppose we have Ida-san to thank for all this. The funds and paperwork he prepared were invaluable.
Tetsuya Ida... and he's still missing.
Yes. Let's go. Chihiro-san.
You think I'm the professor?
That is what I... You were Professor, a major figure in Shikishima in the year 2188, namely the leader of its space initiative.
What are you even...
Just some hypotheticals, a
When you go to theory...
possible interpretation of the evidence. Ever since the battle, this refers...
Okay, say... Remember, Miss... You think that was her plan? How would that make...
Miss Morimura ran an experiment to grant... She believed that you were synchronized to her. She believed it was her own day, but it was the other Chihiro. And of course, you entered the world as a newborn, incapable of verbal communication. So Miss Morimura never realized her mistake.
This is all speculation.
Certainly, yes. But if I'm right, and you are the professor, I imagine you were in quite a panic yourself. All things considered, it was a staggering deviation from the original plan.
What original plan?
Among the logs from one of Tetsuya Ida's noted that he'd found Chihiro Morimura was set to undergo a memory transplant in the final phase. And the final phase, that would be us. The log from the future, that would be the comms log. The first log I checked, the author seemed to be an elderly Renya Goto. And the date of recording, I assumed it was some future version of myself, one that had time traveled into the far future. But now, I don't think that's the case. I believe it's the other way around. In other words, I myself am a clone of him. Every individual I saw in that log footage, they all created clones of themselves.
Clones? Huh?
I did find a log that proves this point.
What did you see?
A comms log between you and Professor Takamiya. Her field is genetic engineering, I note.
I don't know where you think you're go-
A bit of patience. There's a little more context, I mean.
Recall.
Professor Takamiya, how are the projections on those self-replicating probes? The simulations look good, especially the survey range. We never expected a rate of expansion that high. It was definitely the right call to prioritize its strength as a group over individually. These probes are pretty much living machines now. They self-replicate using natural resources mined from asteroids in their routing. They'll just keep building up and breaking down. An infinite cycle of self-replication on its way to its target. There's basically zero chance of the tech failing midway through. They'll just keep on going. Probably long after humanity's gone. Glad I came to an expert then. All that's left is the refinement of the memory cube. The infrastructural storage cell, right? The cube's made up of 5 identical memory layers. In theory, it'll compare itself to nearby probes and use them as a template for repairs. And if it can't be repaired, well, fine. One probe down. We've got thousands more passengers. I'll be loading them up with the DNA of all the survivors. I've already got samples and data from all 15. Now it's just down to launching them. These clones will go with all our hopes on the... By the way, what do we do about him? I mean, after that DNA test... We do nothing. He doesn't have to know. Not much.
Who, Jiro or Amiguchi?
There were 15 survivors, each with a clone established to be compatible, though they grew up in different eras. And you aimed to replace your clone's memories with your own. That was your real plan. Right now is precisely how much of that log I've seen. Am I close? You do have a genius mind, but also the form of a child. I imagine it's harder than usual to hide your agitation.
It's absolutely not.
I'd say, based on that log, Professors Takamiya and Morimura seem to know each... Maybe you know something.
Of course not.
Then perhaps instead... being compatible, that makes one part of his identity. He's one of the 15 from the year 2188. So, who was he in the year 2188?
Kiriko Doji?
Care to guess?
Stop it.
Is that when he...
That boy is Professor Chihiro Morimura's son, but not her child by The professor donated her egg cells as a young, in accordance with the policies on... No comment? Their blood relation wasn't until DNA testing on the clone revealed. The professor was faced with the truth. He was her son, which naturally sparked an inconvenient surge of... However, Okino himself didn't think highly of the professor. He had his disagreements with the project staff, too. When it seemed like her end was near, the professor recorded him one last chance for him to know the truth.
Stop!
I think you might have hit her right in the head there.
You saw that? But how? You'd need a biometric ID, so you should only have been able to access... My logs and Okino's should have been locked off.
Thank you, Professor Morimura. Indeed, the files I could access were somewhat limited. Mostly company logs. Meeting reports, call transcripts, bureaucratic chaff. Barely anything in the way of your personal records.
Then, how do you know what was in my logs?
It's simple, really. That should do it for preparations. Did it go through? Looks like that got me past the initial... Now, with Miss Mur, I should be able to get in.
I'm guessing that's after she's shot dead by Chiro.
Maybe, if I might find a clue while you're by him.
That must be the time. That must be during the time when she passed out.
Yuri Fuyusaka?
Though unconscious, she proved very helpful. She is Chihiro Morimura, a compatible version. If you really are Miss Morimura, then you should already know who Iori Fuyusaka is, because that would mean you hid her here in Sector 4. The plan was for the two newborns to grow up with their own separate lives. Ida-san's idea, presumably. Chihiro Morimura was planned to be placed in 2104, and Tetsuya Ida in 2024. Yet neither could be found.
I knew
Is the other
Goto of Shikishima pretty well. You and he are... Except that you both make my life a lot harder. So...
Ow.
Suppose I am the professor. Then what?
I want to know the truth. I want to know the reasons behind all of this. But that seems unlikely. I imagine you're not inclined to tell me anything.
And why's that?
It'd be inconvenient for you if we had all the facts. Considering you're trying to eliminate us. From the very beginning, you never intended for this world to survive.
Upon testing DNA of the 15 individuals for Project Dark, it becomes clear that he is Chiro Morimura's child. The 2188 Professor Takamiya studies self-replicating probes. Upon testing the DNA of the 15 individuals for Project Dark, it became clear that Tsukasa Okino is Morimura's child. That wasn't through conventional birth. Morimura still feels a maternal connection to him. The clones of the 15 survivors in the colony are the compatible ones. Okay, so... As when Yugoto speaks about how Chiro's memories belong to Professor Chiro Morimura from 2188, he continues to theorize that he and others are clones of the people from 2188. Certainly plausible. And how early was that frickin'? Yep, that is around that time. Proliferating probes. A transmission between